Hey guys, happy Fitness Friday. Jeff McDaniel here. You know this guy right here. He needs no introduction. It's Tight Tummy
Tim?
Tom, something like that. It's a lot of stuff in there. Good alliteration though. So hey, so we've been giving you guys some workouts. Today we're going to switch it up here. And I know a lot of you really like to tune in to see this guy become sweaty Tom. But today it's kind of a non-sweat food talk. I thought we'd talk about some nutrition.
Take it easy on me today.
Yeah, ask him what his cheat meal is after this. Would you like to share with what's going on?
Jeff has started something about
I started this, yeah.
Pizza.
I started this, right?
Right. Pizza.
So after last week's workout, we made a trip to Blaze. The good folks there treated us to a nice little pizza pie. So, yeah, might be on the agenda today, but he's going to work out after this. So we're going to do a little. You didn't know we're going to work out? Yeah, he knew that.
I knew that.
He knew that.
We're going to work out.
So anyway, hey, real quick. So we're going to talk some food. I want to get his, where he's at in his journey. Maybe let you share a little bit from January 1 now.
Sure, we are April.
What's going on?
April.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay,
all that.
okay.
But also let you guys kind of interact. So if you will, in a second, start posting some questions, and we'll try to answer some of those, because we all know nutrition is a big part of body transformation. If you want to feel good, nutrition's a part of it. If you want to look good, nutrition's a part of it. So all those things kind of go back around to the kitchen and all. And we just want to kind of make it easier. And one thing I'm going to do is talk about how eating out is simple and can keep you a nice lean body. You can eat out every single day.
You
and have a
can?
lean body. Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to make that happen.
I like that eating out.
So, a couple quick notes. We're kind of ramping up. Actually, next week is going to start our 28-day Memorial Day Meltdown. It's a 28-day program to lose 2 full inches off of the belly here.
I don't know if I can't lose any more.
Do we have 2 inches left?
I don't know if I do or not. My pants don't fit anymore.
Well,
No.
yeah. So that's what he's going to start doing. Is 28 days. We want you guys to be a part of this. There is a free download, this Fat Loss Made Easy. It's a 28-day nutrition guide that I'm going to take him through, and we'd like you guys to participate with us. So go over. You can find me on Facebook. This is the website, jeffmcdanieltraining.com. I totally butchered training on that, but it was a quick write. But anyway, you can go to my Facebook page and find that. So that's a free download, and we're going to start it on I think April 27th.
Yeah. Hey, Patricia has a really good question. Maybe you can address this,
All right,
because I had to struggle too. Patricia, what is more important to watch to lose weight? Calories, fat, carbs, or combo? What is the recommended on each for females to lose weight?
Great question. That's actually what we're going to be talking about today, Patricia. So it's a big, broad question. Let's kind of break that down, because a lot of it has to do with activity level. Also, every person's different, and that is probably the question of it. So, Patricia, I'm going to try to help you answer
And
that.
I struggle with that.
Yeah,
I'll cut down on, okay, I can't eat this much. But Jeff's like, dude, you got to have fuel to work out. Otherwise, you're going to get the shakes, headaches. So you've got to stay fueled up.
So it's kind of like, a question might be, how much gas do I need throughout the week?
Sure.
How much you going to drive the car? Right? So it's different on a day like he doesn't work out. Like we don't get together on the weekends, so he may not work out and burn as much fuel. He's going to need more calories on those days. So the farther you drive the car, the more you have to fuel up. So calories are kind of relative to your activity level. Maybe workout days you're going to need a little bit more. But also when we're talking about losing weight and leaning out, a lot of that has to do with your metabolism and muscle to fat ratio. So let's kind of dive into that. But first, I'd like to take a minute, get your just overall January 1 today.
Patricia, let me just give you my little story here in case you haven't been following along. I decided really late last year, after my 49th birthday, that I wanted to try to do something that would be beneficial not only for me but for everybody out there. And for you it might be fit by 30. For me it's fit by 50. I was kind of lying around the house eating the wrong stuff and enjoying eating the wrong stuff at that.
Right. Yeah.
I have not had a potato chip since we started this program 4 months ago.
Wow.
And when you're at home and your wife and your daughter are just kind of flaunting it in front of you, But anyway, that's my evil. But in 4 months' time, beginning January the 1st, we've had a tighter tummy in 10 days, where the goal was to lose, 2 inches around the middle? Is that
1 to 2 inches.
1 to 2 inches. I did lose 2 inches around the middle. When we talk about waist size, Jeff, we measure around the belly, and it was 42 inches, okay? But that wasn't the size pant I was wearing. That's a little farther down. I know I'm down at least 3 inches, if not 4 inches around the belly, just by simply adding exercise, eating the right stuff, and really watching what you eat as well. So I've lost 12 pounds, but I'll tell you what, a lot of that fat has probably been burned off and transitioned back into muscle.
You've also gained some muscle.
Gaining muscle, losing weight. I was at 203 and down to 191 as of last week. I haven't weighed this week. So I'm sure I've gained muscle. I feel stronger.
Yeah.
I can tell in the mirror.
And it's the lean body that we're shooting for, right?
Sure.
So the question of like calories, and we're going to kind of get into like, you know, how to eat out, but also how do I eat out in a way that I stay lean, stay fueled up, have energy. So let's dive into something right here, and I think this might answer a little bit of your question on. This is, think of this as, hey, granted, it's not the most artistic dinner plate, right? But kind of work with me here. Here's 2 plates. Give you 2 options in terms of losing weight and leaning out, all right? We look at like proteins, carbohydrates, veggies here. This is a very reasonable approach. You can do this anytime you eat out, every single day. I went through a stretch run where it was like Chipotle's, like for like 4 straight days, and this is what I would order. So you look at like having 1/4 of your plate. So you divide it into 4ths. 1/4 of it is some type of protein. You pick the proteins you like. Look, meat, poultry, fish, all those things are good. They're high in protein. They help boost metabolism. Get some. There's your 1/4 of it. 1/4 of it. Pick out your carbohydrates. It might be the pita bread. It might be the rice. You have to find the carbohydrates that you like, and then the other 2/4 are going to be as many veggies of different colors as we can get. That's a very reasonable approach. You can prepare your dinner at home like that. You can eat out like this. Every restaurant has some type of lean protein and mixed veggies. You know, some of the problem is you have to keep in mind when you eat out that restaurants will really probably do about 2 to 3/4 carb and only 1/4 protein, you know, or a third protein. So they're going to have much more carbohydrates in the dinner because obviously those are tasty. So that's kind of a very reasonable approach. We've talked about this before, right?
We have talked about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Give me just your thoughts on like making this kind of visual. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but what's been your experience so far in trying to have, you know, getting in some protein, getting in some produce, and limiting the carbs to 4?
Well, I'll tell you what's happened for me is I'm probably eating more veggies and more fruits than I have in quite a long time to fulfill the veggies in the fruit plate here. Carbohydrates, now I know that we do a little bit of carb cycling. One day you have more carbs than the other and less than the other.
Right.
So I think that's probably the biggest challenge for me is to find that right carb on the right day and the ones that I like to eat. Now you're talking about your whole grain rices, quinoas, you know, that kind of thing. But what are some other carbs that you can mix into that are good carbs?
Yeah, so when you look at like carbohydrates, you have and there's a list of them, you know. You're going to have your low carb fruits and vegetables, your higher carb fruits and vegetables. You know, higher carb is going to be some of your potatoes and things like that. Then you're also going to have your whole grain starches, rice, pasta, bread, things like that. So there's a whole, and you have to honestly find the ones that you like and you enjoy, because when we're talking about leaning out, this is kind of a formula, but I actually need to like this stuff. I need to enjoy this, because if this is a chore, that's not going to last very long.
Let me just say the one thing he said, potatoes. How many diet plans or how many plans have you seen that eliminate potatoes? You say that's okay, eat the potatoes. Baked potatoes.
It's a part of it.
It's a part of it.
It's part of it. High in fiber. Obviously, you know, some of the higher carbohydrates, there is an aspect of like, well, can I have this any time of day? Probably not. Probably not need to have the baked potato at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Now, you know, early in the day when we're active and we need more energy, that would be great. So one thing about this is what I call a reasonable approach to leaning out. Reasonable in the sense of you could do this probably for the rest of your life. We probably should.
Okay.
There are those times though when you're like, you know what, I want to ramp it up. I want to lean out a little bit faster, right? And so here is kind of that faster model of it. Faster fat loss, if you will.
I was going to say it looks like a sad face.
Need to turn that upside down.
Turn that frown upside down. Yeah.
So take this model. Here's the other dinner plate. Now let's take, you know, let's go protein in this section. So 1/3 protein, and the other 2/3 are going to be your veggies. As many fruits and vegetables of different colors. What's missing in these two pictures though?
The carbs.
Carbs, right? So in this case here, you'd eliminate the pita bread, some of the potatoes,
whole wheat,
the whole wheat, all the starches, the pasta, the rice,
right.
everything.
But how long do you eliminate it for?
Yeah, so that's a great point, and this is different. So, but on this, and you have a little bit of a thumb size of healthy fat.
Fats. Okay.
Seed oils, nut oils, things like that, olive oil, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, all those things. They kind of give us some energy because we've eliminated a lot of carbohydrates. We're just going vegetables here.
Yeah.
So it's different for every person.
Well, let me give you an example of a meal that you could do that would fit this scenario right here that eliminates the carbohydrates. And this is on a meal plan when we ramp up that 28-day, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to do.
Memorial Day meltdown.
One of the things was a beef stir fry because you've got your veggies, you've got your protein, and you're going to have your seed oil.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, can you eat that for 28 days? Probably not, but that's an example.
Yeah. Now, some people say that there's some when you talk about like calories and what's more important, is it just the total number of calories? Calories always play a part, but it's got to be so much more than that. If I say, you know what, I'm on 2,000 calories a day, I want to cut that down to 1,200 calories. But guess what? 900 are going to be cheesecake. Is that good?
I could do that.
You could probably do
that.
You know what? You're going to have low energy. You're not going to feel good. It's going to taste good for like 10 minutes, and then that's it. So it's part of it is what's the makeup of it. Really getting some protein, carbohydrates, and fats in your diet is probably the key, and then managing the calories. Yeah.
Have another question.
Yeah.
Would you like it?
Hit me
All right,
with
this
it.
is from Keith. Keith wants to know, what is the best exercise to lose your belly?
Burn belly fat, right?
Burning the belly fat, right, Keith?
Keith, what I'd say is we've got a ton of these 10-minute tortures. Now that's torture as in torching calories, torching belly fat, not as in, Tom calls it torture, as in agony. But what I call it is torching calories and everything. So 10-minute tortures are the best thing for it. Find 5 to 10 minutes, high intensity intervals, get that heart pumping, and then combine that with a low carb meal plan. That's what we're doing right now to lose Tom's belly.
Okay, this is a good question from William. William's asking, he says this: I eat oatmeal with a cooked apple, banana, and mixed berries. Then I add raw pumpkin seed, and I still feel hungry in the morning.
So go back through that list there again.
Okay, you've got
oatmeal,
a banana, mixed berries, raw pumpkin seed, and still feeling hungry. Protein.
That's what's lacking, right? So
That's
we've got
what's
carb, a lot of good stuff. So here's that classic case of we got fruit, we've got whole grains, all of which are healthy, but we're not getting that 1/4 of protein in. So you could take those same things, fill them up right here, and just increase your protein. One good rule is if you eat and 2 hours later you're hungry, not enough protein in your diet. It's general, but that's a good kind of analogy for everybody. Yeah. Anything else?
Keep the questions coming if you have a question. This is a great time to talk about diet plans, and not really diet plans, but what to eat while working out. This isn't a diet plan. Really, it isn't.
It's not. No, it's
more
lifestyle.
of a lifestyle adjustment,
Exactly, that's what
lifestyle
we're doing.
change.
So one thing for you, going back to you, because you've got the same goal. Keith just asked about losing the belly fat.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what we're doing, right? We're trying to lean out right here. Here's two different kind of, for you, based on energy, strictly on energy. Which one of these can you eat, could you follow, and you feel good? Which would make you probably hungry?
Probably, gosh, is this a trick question?
Do you remember when we did the tighter tummy?
Yeah, we did a breakfast
Carb
assessment.
cycling, right?
Right.
And so some days was a high carb day,
Right.
low carb day, no
No
carb
carb
day, And I'm just curious for you. I mean, this is something we're trying to learn, and you might not even know yet, but just like what kind of fuels you have you figured that out? And this is kind of a point for everyone, is to learn how to eat for energy so you feel good mental clarity throughout the day, you're not having drops of energy, and whatever that is, that's the style of eating that's probably going to help you
I
out.
would probably go with the more protein. I'm adding a little more protein without having as many carbohydrates
Right.
in the vegetables. Would
Yeah.
probably be the best for me.
Yeah.
I think at this point. Now, is it possible that could change? Maybe the body's, I need more carbs here now. Throw some more my way.
It changes throughout our lifetime.
Right.
How we eat as an 8-year-old is not how we eat as a 28-year-old or a 48-year-old or a 68-year-old. It always changes, and it's learning to adapt to that. So I just asked you that question to show these are two general things, but I want you to get the concept of kind of dividing out your dinner plate, your breakfast. This is a good kind of gauge to, and plus, we're going to eat out. That's the case. So you got a question, don't you?
Patricia wants to know where we can find this 10-minute torture exercise. Is it with the 28 plan download or the 28-day download?
Okay, you can download this as far as the nutrition guide. We've got a Facebook group we're going to start. We're going to post. It's going to be separate from THV, but it'll be kind of our 28-day meltdown. And we'll post all these workouts. Also, you can go to THV's Facebook page, scroll through the videos, and there's a lot of them because THV posts a lot of videos, but you can find these little 10-minute workouts. And we're going to try to compile them into one Facebook group. So look for those coming soon.
Good question from William. What's a good lean protein? A boiled egg? That's a question.
There you go. Yeah, so really, number one, we'll start with finding things that you like. Let's go up here. You've got kind of meat, poultry, fish. So you've got your meats, chicken, turkey, pork tenderloin, all that. You've got dairy products. You know, that might be milk, cheese, yogurt, eggs, things like that. And then you've got some of your nut butters. And so that kind of gives you three kind of levels of proteins. Number one, find the things that you like. Try to get either a fist size or 1/4 of your plate in one of those. But again, enjoy food, because if it's a chore, you're going to bail on it, trust me.
Olivia wants to know if you can season your protein with different seasonings, more than just salt and pepper.
Oh, yeah. And actually, seasonings, we did this in our grocery store tour, probably the most bang for your buck. Very little calories, very nutrient dense.
All right, let's see. Keep the questions coming if you have another question for Jeff. This is a great time to talk about the meals and what you can eat. Now, when you say a fist size of protein, you shouldn't be tempted to eat a fist size of peanut butter, because that's one of my go-to proteins.
That's true. That's a great point. So, you know, we're talking about some of your lean protein. Keep in mind, these right here, these have the least amount of carbohydrates in them. Your dairy products are going to have a little bit more, and these are your high carb proteins. So when it comes to nut and nut butters and nuts and seed oils, about a thumb size of that. So is that what you're eating on your peanut butter at night? A thumb
peanut
size?
Butter. You know, it's about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of peanut butter whenever I eat. You know, I'll tell you what I'll do for breakfast some mornings is I'll eat a peanut butter sandwich for breakfast. You know, on pumpernickel or whole wheat, something like that, just to get me going, and then I'll eat again. Maybe a handful of nuts. I love, you know, to me the nuts like the cashews, the pistachios, the walnuts are all very good nuts to have. Almonds are good. I have to change it up because you can. Okay, I've had enough almonds. I want some of this, and I mix them together.
Yeah, varieties of spice of life and everything. So, well, hey, just you know, if you have some questions, put this in. We're going to wrap this up here in just a few minutes. Big takeaway though, I want you guys to have kind of at least a visual of how to lean out, man. I mean, again, one of our first questions was on just the calorie thing. Honestly, the more your quality of food improves, this becomes better, the less the calories matter. You know, at first, like I said, if you're eating a bunch of junk food, then calories are very important and all. So we got something funny here.
Lynette's asking, Jeff, my problem is the sweets. Yeah, I could do really great except for the sweets. What can I substitute for the sweets?
Yeah, so great question, and something we all struggle with. The big thing is step number one, try to, over the course of the next 3 to 4 weeks, convert from refined sugar to natural sweeteners. And find some of the things that you like in there. I mean, nectarines and apples and strawberries and blueberries and whatever it is. I mean, go through the fruits and even things like honey and agave and maple syrup, which, yes, there's some sugar and yes, there's some calories involved, but going from more processed refined sugars into more natural sweeteners is a big step. And then you can start eliminating some of those even more. So it's just a step-by-step process. We're going to have sweet tooth. I think Tom can kind of share right here. You kind of have a little bit of a sweet tooth, right?
Yeah, I have a sweet tooth, but this is my go-to. And I Jeff, are you sure? Are you sure? I love dark chocolate. So I get those little dark chocolate squares in your deli that are 72% cocoa.
Yeah.
And that's my fallback sweet right there.
Right. And it's kind of like, you know, it's almost like a weaning out process. If you're used to milk chocolate, which has very little actual chocolate and a lot of sugar, then you go maybe 75-25, and then 50-50. And then you keep going all the way down to ultimately dark chocolate is not very sweet at all.
No.
Right?
Yeah, you consider that a fat. Do you know?
And it's high in nutrition, you know, high in antioxidants, so it's actually good, but it's when we add the sugar stuff. So
Olivia wants to ask you, is it better to eat 3 meals a day or multiple smaller meals?
Great question. And here's the vague answer. It's different from every person. There are people that do really well on intermittent fasting. There are people that do good on 1 to 2 meals a day. There's people that do well on 6 to 7 meals a day. Here's just a general kind of preface. Use your energy as kind of a gauge. Eat, and 2 hours later, you should feel energized, you feel full, and have good mental clarity. If you're dragging, brain fog, low energy, kind of hungry, that's not the way we need to eat. But honestly, I mean, every person's different, and so there's no, what works for you doesn't always work best for your friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we have.
Cool, man. Well, let's kind of wrap this up, Tom. Any last little thoughts here on just your food journey?
Food journey. Hey, it is a journey. You and I've been able to stick with things that I like. Again, my selections aren't perfect all the time.
Right.
And you're going to have to allow yourself a treat meal every so often, or 1 or 2 a week. Honestly, I got to tell you that my cheat or treat meals come on the weekends. During the week, I'm back to, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this.
And that's a great point. I mean, we got to find, you can call it a cheat meal, you can call it a treat meal, you can call it a reward meal. You got to look at your week and say, you know what, these are the things in life that I really love. And I'm going to have 1 or 2 times a week. I'm going to enjoy this food. It could be a beverage, some alcohol, it could be, whatever, some really high sugary carb meals that you just love. Have that. Mm-hmm. And then bookend those meals with maybe some activity, some exercise, and some low carb meals on the front and back end of that.
Hey, Precious has one quick question about veggie salads. Can you eat them every day, or do you also need to add some protein?
Yes. Protein. That's awesome. The mixed veggies are awesome, but our body needs to have all the nutrition, the vitamins, the protein to really keep it balanced. So try to balance out the meal. And, sometimes if you're vegetarian, like I said, you can get some proteins from some of your nut butters, some other healthy fats that have protein in them. So just be creative there.
Jeff wants to know if he needs to replenish his glycogen storage after working out if he's trying to lose weight.
Yeah, absolutely. When the gas tank runs low, bad things happen to the car and bad things happen to us. So we were just talking about this. Share with what's worked good for you. You just did a workout and felt horrible afterwards.
Yeah, I did, yeah. And this has happened twice. It's because my schedule's been a little messed up. This happened yesterday. And like what you said, it was hydration. Had a headache after I worked out. Headache, and it hurt me a lot. I went over and had a little bite to eat, and I felt a little bit better. But about a week ago, I was just low on fuel. I was worthless. I mean, Jeff, he kicked me a couple of times. Said, "Dude, get out. Go eat something." Right. If you're low on fuel, then it's kind of a thing. Well, I'm not going to eat too much because I don't want this, but you've got to have some.
So if you think about your body as a gas tank, too much gas, not good, right? Too little gas, not good. So same thing, keep that. So yeah, after your workout, you got to put that stuff back in. There's a golden window of about 60 minutes right after the workout where you need to get in some glucose, some carbohydrates, some protein, and otherwise blood sugar level crashes and then bad hormones kick in and all. So
we're getting exercise questions now, Jeff. You want to answer one of those? Is this
all right? Hit me up with. We got time for let's take 2 more here.
Okay. Let's see. What is a good exercise if you have bad knees or old knee injuries?
Well, number 1, minimize the movements that involve the knee. Things like squats and lunges, if they cause us pain, we don't need to be doing those. There's too many other ways to get the heart rate up. And we just did a workout last week here that you find on THV's page that was all abs and cardio. It got the heart rate up, involved no squatting, lunging, things right there. Anything from doing like hip hinging movements like this, planking exercises, push-ups, work the arms, work the abs, work the hips, work the things that don't cause you pain and discomfort. And like I said, a lot of our workouts are catered towards that a little bit. So, you can get the heart rate up and get the muscle burning without tearing up those knees.
She asked about the elliptical.
Absolutely. It's all about getting in some good activity. Find the movements that you do and you enjoy and get that heart pumping a little bit.
Okay. And we're getting some really great questions here. What exercise is good for neuropathy? I have neuropathy in my legs.
Yeah, that might be a question for the physician, talk to about, maybe that kind of situation. But honestly, a lot of stretching, flexibility training has been shown to kind of correct some of that, or at least offset some of it. So, what we do is some foam rolling and some things like that improves circulation and blood flow. But, again, I'm not a doctor, so always check with your physician first on that. Yeah. Well, hey, man, thank you so much, guys. If you got some more questions, just post them in the comment box below. Speaking of cheat meals, Tom and I, we're about to have one right now.
All right.
You know, so look here.
For this.
We worked out Tuesday, worked out Thursday.
Right.
We're actually going to do a workout right now.
Whoa.
We're going to work out right now
gotta earn that
because
pizza.
we're going to head to Blaze after this. And that's just a good testament to you guys. I love pizza. I love it. Do I need to have pizza every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Probably not. So, you know, but you can have it once or twice a week. So enjoy life. We want you guys to enjoy your weekend. Again, post some comments, some questions below, and we will hit them up. Otherwise, thank you. Tune in next week for some more good stuff here. Take care.